every time I do an opera by Mozart, they always seem so like such very personal responses to the text that he was setting, and in this case of the Clemenza di Tito, which is an opera about people's relationship to their ruler, to the power structure that they live under. It's a very obviously a very personal thing for Mozart, who spent his whole life as an artist, appealing to the people that supported him and commissioned him and took him out to lunches and dinners for his whole life. He was very much dependent on the support of the aristocracy and the royalty that were his patrons. We came up with this idea of a sort of civic space, which could be a modern civic space, like you would see in it's really rather based, I think, on sort of travertine marble spaces, like, since we're people that live in the cultural world, and those are our associations, it's sort of based on Lincoln Center or the Kennedy Center, those kind of places, which are modern and sort of have a sort of 60s-y, 70s kind of feel, and yet are based on a kind of classical architecture.
Mozart, first of all, is an amazing composer, and there's so much. The first opera that Christopher and I ever did together was a Mozart opera, and there's just so much in the music itself that just sort of lends itself to sort of opening up your imagination and kind of thinking about things maybe outside the box, if you will. So the sky was sort of the limit. I mean, what we really did was take a look at these characters and take a look at these ideas of sort of state and power and forgiveness. And just sort of riffed from there. So for me, I think the challenge of it is implicit in doing what I do. So it's great, and I'm thrilled to have a shot. And again, with Christopher on board, it's sort of a done deal. So
I wore a dress to our first meeting with Christopher and myself, and he was very excited about this dress. And it was sort of a brown, swirly 70s tunic. And he wanted everybody to be dressed like that. And I said no, but that we would find some happy medium. So in a sense, I went from there, and we thought about Roman garb, togas and chitons and things like that then have come through different resurgences in fashion to be of the moment. So think of Studio 54 and Bianca Jagger, and it was all there, Halston. So that's kind of how we came to the look. And part of it is the sort of irony sometimes of having things that are less dramatic on stage in a very highly dramatic situation. And that kind of excites me, the sort of contrast to that. And essentially they are clothes. So I still think of them as things that people would wear, and things they would make a choice to wear because of their character.
The way we're costuming the show, we want the clothes to resonate down through history, so that it's very much about sort of images from kind of classical images from the Roman Empire, but with a kind of a modern edge. So it has a kind of maybe slightly hard to read chic style to it, which also is kind of about today, and not just chic and stylish, but also especially like in the images of the chorus in this opera, which are sort of the collective, the mass of people that come in and out for the sort of celebratory and events in the piece, that they look as much like a kind of modern group of people that you would see on the street.
So actually, Terese and Christopher sort of took the lead, and I think sort of found this kind of 70s, 60s look. Look at the Roman Empire, which Caligula and what's the other, Satyricon, and all of those sort of famous sort of looks back at the excesses of Rome and things like that were already sort of being talked about and bandied about when I came into the process. This set really grew out of the clothes. And we talk about the chandeliers and Paco Rabanne and all that. It's all fashion references. So in this case, sometimes it's not true, but in this case, very much so. The costumes sort of influenced the set in a lot of ways.
Well, I've known Brian for years, and I've known about this company, and I've sort of followed its progress over the last decade or so. When it seemed, about reading about all the kind of work that they've been doing, it seemed like it was becoming a more and more kind of really interesting opera company, which is devoted to the ideals about opera that have always interested me, which is to say, opera as theater.
Christopher earlier spoke to the idea of opera as theater. He spoke to the idea of this company sort of furthering opera as theater, and I'm totally behind that. I mean, that's really the only opera that I do.
And a theater that would pull a kind of diverse audience into opera and being interested in it and being engaged by it, and so it's exciting to get a chance to work in this company and be work in a company which embraces and is excited about the kind of work that I've been doing for years and years.